August 4th. I am, as always, Chris Cords.
I'm Hifrok, and today with us...
Hi, I'm Bugle.
Hello, Bugle.
Good to see you, or good to have you here.
We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity.
It's true, a lot of things have been revealed.
Yeah, I was expecting like a couple of
It's true.
enigmatic yeses and nos and cryptic clues, but we actually got a pretty good picture of what set 11 is going to look like in general terms.
Mm-hmm. A new mechanic, for example?
Mm-hmm. A kind of general theme of the set and one proper card, which is always nice to look at.
What card?
Sorry?
What card? No one has heard about any cards yet.
Well, we'll be getting to that at the end.
Yep, so stay until the end to see the card.
Yeah. I guess first thing, Bugle, you and I have been here in Baltimore for the last couple of days, enjoying the rest of BronyCon, but also the cards thing, and it's been really impressive, right? We had a
small space.
True.
A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, we had a really impressive turnout.
Oh, that, yes.
I heard there were like 30 people at tournaments.
Yeah, it was, I think, 33 core and 28 harmony.
Yep.
That's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the same level as Continentals last year.
Pretty much,
no, it's
yeah.
more than Continentals last year, actually.
I think Continentals was 31, but I might be wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I think it was 29, because I remember GP seeing 4 more people.
Okay. In any event, it's the biggest in recent memory.
For sure.
Is obviously good.
Mm-hmm.
As Bugle mentioned, it kind of outgrew the capacity we had kind of on site, but we made do to some extent. It was fun. That I can tell you for sure.
Yeah. I couldn't participate in Harmony, but I heard Mod Farm came back and no one expected it.
I think I'm not sure about Aura, but Ivory, GP, and Big Cheese all played Mod Farm.
Yep.
There were 4 mod players, I'm pretty sure.
The 4th might be Aura.
Yeah.
No, he was playing Pirate Booty.
Oh.
Okay. And for what it's worth, I was also playing a farm deck, but not that.
Not mod.
Twilight?
No. It's not.
You won't
Loyalty?
guess.
I won't guess? Okay. I won't try.
It's not a main that you're thinking of.
It has Ambassador in the title.
So
well,
Loyalty,
subtitle,
no?
rather. No.
A farm not on Loyalty, that's something unusual. I don't even remember what the rest of them do, really.
Was
none of them do farm things.
Oh, Generosity.
Yeah. We don't really have time for me to go through the whole thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can cover it next time when the results are up.
Sure. Yeah, so in any event, we were after the Harmony tournament. There was a they called it a fireside chat, although unfortunately there was no fire. Well, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to say it, where we got to learn a lot about what this set 11 is going to look like. And it started out with just some basic ideas. Just to kind of go down the list, we know that the sort of design philosophy is being held over from Friends Forever. So the same sort of idea of Friends in the single colors, and then the entire set of multicolor two-color pairs is going to get at least one uncommon and rare friend, some resources, some events, 2 tricolors.
I think 4, right? 2 songs to.
Oh, that's correct. 2 songs and 2 tricolor something.
Though we don't know what tricolor.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I guess we know what 4 it's not, but that's it.
Yeah, and I guess they're not Alicorns this time. I think we're out of Alicorns, right?
Could be Flurry Heart and Big Mac.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true, I guess.
Nightmare Moon and Chrysalis, if you really want to stretch it.
Oh my
Daybreaker,
goodness,
I guess.
Nightmare Moon and Daybreaker. Yeah, there you go.
It's a possibility.
Oh, I like that.
Be an interesting set, if that were the case. Okay,
So
and then
want to get to the list?
Well, yeah. After that, we were told that the set has a general theme about points.
Oh.
That it's going to matter. Obviously, points matter now in the extent of they determine how much AT you get per turn. Apparently, something else along the similar vein is going to happen in this set. That was pretty vague, but something about points.
So that is super exciting to me because at the Create a Card panel at the first Gen Con Pony Cards was at, I suggested a ability for the card that was if you have 10 or more cards, draw an additional card at the start of your turn, something like that. Or not 10 or more cards, 10 or more points. And then one of the devs was like, I like that. Even if we don't use that, I'm stealing that and using it later, and they never did. So now they're doing that for set 11 finally, and that's like, yay, hooray! That sounds great.
Could be. Yeah.
But really, theme being set around points could really mean anything at this point.
Yeah.
But I hope we'll see some cards soon.
Yeah, we should. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, it really sounds like they're not trying to do something like you can spend points as AT. It's just like a check. Do you have X points or not? Kind of thing. That's what it sounded like.
That was the impression that I got out of it, yeah.
I mean, otherwise it wouldn't be how many points or, that's the impression I get as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if that establishes some kind of threshold where you might have decks that specifically rush to 6 to enable something or whatever.
That could be interesting.
We just need a blue card with 3 costs that cares if you have 2 or more points. That you can play on turn 2 after flipping Selena.
Yeah. That would be an interest. Yeah, that would work just fine. Okay, so then after that, there was, as I said, the sort of solicitation said there was going to be 20 questions and answers, but in reality, it was more of a wide-ranging, open question and answer forum, which, if you kind of distill it down to the important stuff that was said, works out to about 40 questions. And each of them are somewhat important in their own right, so we'll just be going through them.
Starting with the least important question.
I mean, if we're being actual serious, it is kind of least important question, as well as the rest about the flavor.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of flavor questions were asked. about Trixie and Aloe and Apple Parents and so on and so forth. And they, with the exception of one, we got answers that's a flavor suggestion. We'll keep it in consideration.
Yeah. So flavoring of the set is still happening. Well, Bugle, you work in card design, so that's one of the last stages of designing a set.
Absolutely.
Generally.
Yeah. But the one flavor question we got an answer for, skipping ahead a little bit, was will there be a Yona main?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the answer is yes with an asterisk.
Yeah. So yes, with some caveat attached to that.
Yeah. So from what I get, it's like there will be Yona main, but not in a way this question was asked.
Right. Yeah, that's my impression as well. I wonder if that's true for Sandbar. No one asked about Sandbar.
You should have asked about Sandbar.
I didn't think to ask about Sandbar. Neither did Cursed. Blame him too.
I was too busy writing stuff down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, for what that's worth, and we can skip down again a little bit here. The very next question was whether there will be at least one main for every color. The answer to that being yes. Presumably that means some kind of cycle, which in the past has been the main 6. So, if that's the case, then where is this prospective Yona main fitting in, is the question.
I actually have a guess. I mean, that's all we can really have right now, right? Is guesses? Yeah. So, we were told there's a UR main. And my guess is that the UR main is the student 6. Just all 6 of them.
Yeah, that could work.
Which would be Yona with an asterisk.
That would be a lot of traits on a single main.
I mean, we had Rescue Party before, and that had just Ally.
Yeah, it might just be Ally. Or it could be Defenders of Spiketopia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just all of the traits.
I mean, it'd actually be really interesting if that was the case, because it would necessarily work with all the Harmony stuff that was in Friends Forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bringing us back in, just to go through the top, we were asked, there was a question just to confirm the set will release in 2019. That was confirmed. Which is
December 31st. You heard it here first.
On the latest time zone of the year.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. December 31st in Hawaii, or something like that. Let's see. Moving down, a question about functional reprints, and that was a no. Which
I mean, I wouldn't.
No f-stop.
Yeah. There was no functional reprints yet. Not sure why. Why would functional reprints begin now?
We've had functional reprints before.
Oh, you mean so by functional reprints it means the entry we got in Friends Forever, right? The Earth Pony. Okay.
Well,
I see.
In Friends Forever?
Yeah, in Friends Forever we got the Earth Pony, which is 4 for 4 orange, and it's the same as
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a Dr. Caballeron that's the same as Jets. There's a few, but they're all basically vanillas and French vanillas. They're not interesting. Functional reprints.
Yeah, which is fair to say. I guess there's it's something that I guess a lot of other card games do as their set gets bigger. Is eventually start recycling other stuff.
Especially since we've rotated 6
Yeah.
sets out, you know.
Yeah, with the
But
rotating
on the
format.
on the other hand, like we've rotated those out kind of recently, so it would be kind of strange to bring them back right now.
It's true. Yeah, there was another section of the Q&A where they asked which cards people really, really want to see go. And, well, clearly there are some...
No, that wasn't mentioned at all, actually, because it's not rotating out.
It's not rotating, yeah.
The two that were biggest were Portal and Trading Tradition.
Yeah, that's kind of expected.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I'm not sad about Portal going at all, even though I'm the purple player.
It's done a lot.
It had a very good run.
Yeah.
I mean, while we're rotating some sets out, like, Core has existed for 2 years now? Or was it just 1 year? 1 year and a half. Yeah.
Oh.
Around that. So, like,
Yeah.
you could see a functional reprint, like, from a Harmony or something. But many of the Harmony cards are either bad or too good, I guess.
Functional reprint, Yellow Pair Sprite.
Yeah.
Only make it 6 power and 0 bonus.
Can I have Fire and Ready again, please?
Huh.
That'd be interesting. Well, I don't know. Now that there's so many dilemmas out, that might be a little bit...
A dilemma Fire and Ready, yes.
Ooh. Well, let's move on to the next question.
Okay. So, a couple people asked, just for clarity, whether this would be the last set. And that was, well, you know, it kind of depends on stuff, but it's not designed to be the last set. So there's that, which is obviously good news. Let me see here.
Yeah, Twilight is not getting wings yet.
Fair point. Let's see. Number 13, there was a question about particular Epic King Sombra, if we were going to get another one of those. Answer was no, which I think that's a flavor question, but apparently no. We know that.
I think it's because the Epic of the set has to go to Grogar. Let's be honest.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the troublemaker, really, of all troublemakers.
Yeah, the featured villain.
Mm-hmm.
And jumping ahead, there was a question that was,
If there's
is there a villain? Yes. And is it epic? Yes. That second one being the joke, are we ever getting a non-epic villain?
Mm-hmm. All indications in the past have said no, and, well, I think they're sticking to their guns on that one.
But yeah, I think we're seeing Grogar.
Yeah, I mean, about epic villain, like, if you print Grogar, would you really not make him a villain? That would...
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. It's like, it has to be flavor-wise.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So next on down, will there be support for certain archetypes, like how Friends Forever was supporting tribal decks? Answer was yes, and I think like we got a little bit of an indication of that with the card reveal and such, of like at least some of the directions that the set might go in terms of which archetypes it's going to push.
But, I mean, pretty much all sets do that, though.
Yeah.
Like, in Marks and Time, you had the whole Cutie Mark theme. In High Magic, you had tokens and stuff. Not sure about Odysseus. Odysseus was kind of generic set from what I've seen.
Yeah. The Defenders had the discard thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sequestria. I'm actually not sure. Sequestria was also kind of generic.
Yeah.
Sequestria supported beating things in the face with a staff.
That's fair. That's very.
It's the archetype.
Actually, I'll take it back. Sequestria supported pink and purple.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's borne out by experience.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
this next question. This is a
yes.
big one.
Yes. So we have confirmation. We all kind of suspected it, but we have official confirmation that the release of Set 11 will be the core rotation. So Odysseys, High Magic, Marks in Time, it will no longer be core legal. It will just be Defenders, Sequestria, Friends Forever, and whatever this set is called.
Which is currently unnamed. They don't have a name for it. Or at least they're not telling us a name for it.
That's true.
So the thing with set relation is that it'll be interesting what the new set will do about yellow, because right now yellow in Defender's block is kind of strong.
That's because all the good yellow cards are in Defender's block.
Yes, all the colors lose something, and yellow has all of the stuff in new sets. There isn't really much that yellow loses, like I guess beavers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes.
But there's so many alternatives to beavers that you're fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yellow has so many resource removals. Yeah.
So we'll see how the next set will push other colors forward, or push yellow down, or something like that. Or maybe yellow will be rampant. We'll see.
It loses a few good multicolor songs. The blue-yellow song, the pink-yellow song, and the orange-yellow song, and the white-yellow song are all pretty good songs.
Right.
They're pretty good, but I haven't actually seen them much. Like, people don't really play them.
Yeah. Like, the thing is that most yellow decks that I see these days are just mono. So that's not really much of a concern.
Yeah, that's just going to support everyone just still playing mono yellow.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we're just going to skip that one. It kind of keys into the card later. So yeah, next up, was this your question, Bugle, or was this somebody else?
Nope.
Yeah.
Next one's mine.
Okay, that's right. So will there be a card that fills a similar role to Magical Misfire, as in getting stuff out of discard piles? Well, getting stuff out of discard piles permanently rather than getting them back into your hand. And the answer to that was yes, which makes sense. That's kind of a piece of technology that pretty much does need to exist, at least in some form.
Especially with Mistmane around.
Yeah.
Yep. White's pretty good right now.
Mm-hmm. We have Misfire's rotating out, Cleaning Up is rotating out.
Smooth.
That Smooth, yeah, is rotating out as well. So we still have Somnambula's Blindfold.
And I think that's it. There's not much you can do about opponent's discard pile otherwise. Well, School Shutdown, I guess.
Yes,
yeah.
School Shutdown.
Slightly expensive option.
Speaking of, I asked if we were going to have a deck reset like Juggling Routine or something that doesn't cost 5, because all we have is School Shutdown in core right now.
And the answer is no.
No. That doesn't... We might have one that does cost 5.
Could be.
Yeah, you could have just, like, asked without the AT restriction to see if there's anything at all. What do you expect to hear from that question?
Yes. I wanted like a 3-cost Juggling Routine or something.
Maybe.
That does, like, attach to a friend. Or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe it means that more support for Mill or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh well.
All right, yeah. So there was a question about the number of mains. More than 7, no. was like, I'm trying to think, like, which sets have even had more than 7? Was it just Camelot Knights? I
Camelot
guess
Knights
Odysseys.
and Odyssey.
Okay, fair enough. Like, given the fact that we know there's a main in each color and an ultra rare, I'm guessing that 7 is the exact number.
Probably.
Yeah, because if you have the cycle, it'll be really weird to have one ultra rare main.
Yeah.
Mhm. And it's not actually in this list, but I believe it was said that the cycle mains will be uncommon.
Yeah, I don't think it's in this list. I haven't seen that. It's the same as Odysseys, so makes sense, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, knowing as we do now that this is going to be a block starter and a rotation, yeah, it should be a sort of a foundational set as far as mains and basic stuff, etc. Speaking of which, there was a question about event distribution, and given that the design structure is the same as it was for Friends Forever, etc., then we're going to be looking at approximately 1 or 2 events per color.
And some in multicolor.
Yeah. And that kind of covers the next question as well, whether there will be multicolor non-friends again, just like Friends Forever. Yeah.
I found this question interesting because I don't think there was a set where there were multicolor cards and they were only friends.
We had 2.
2 sets where multicolor cards were only friends?
Yep, Sequestria. Well, okay, aside from the song, in Sequestria only had friends,
I do
and
count
Defenders
the song.
only had friends.
Oh yeah, Defenders. But in Sequestria I do count the song.
Yeah, fair. But I was more asking about the 2-color combos.
That's fair. Yeah. Like, we expect the tricolor pairs in every set these days. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
not... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I specified the 2 colors because a lot of the events and resources are rotating out. So I wanted to make sure we could have some multicolor events and resources.
That's fair. But it was said that the set is designed like the Friends Forever set, and that one had resources and events that are multicolor.
Yeah, a few. I just want to make sure we had more.
They did tend to be, well, at least in Friends Forever, the multicolor events and resources were pretty good and pretty interesting too. So
they were also all rare. But that's true so far.
Also true, yeah. Okay, a couple of questions about tokens, token friends at least. Question of whether every color is going to get at least one thing that generates token friends. Answer no. And whether there's going to be a new type of token friend. Answer also no. So we know.
Just like Friends Forever.
Yeah. To drop a little hint about the card image coming up, we know that there is at least a little bit of token stuff happening in this set, but apparently it's not a super major theme that everybody's going to get.
Right.
I would like to see more tokens from the rest of the colors, though. Like, we have all of the... Like, we have Figments, we have Rocks, and they pretty much only appear in High Magic, and that's it. Well, we've seen Rock in Defenders as well. Like, there's Hooffield and Muckles, I think they're called. Retired Creators get a Rock, but it's not, like, big. I would like to see more token stuff for other colors. But maybe not in this set.
Yeah, maybe
well,
that's...
definitely not in this set, since the question.
Well, that's what we know, yeah. Okay, moving on. A couple more about main characters. We had a somewhat flavorish question about whether the main character is relevant to Season 8 or Season 9. Yes, with an asterisk. I assume, like, if we're going on your theory, Bugle, about the Student 6 main, that makes sense, I guess?
Yep.
Would that mean that the rest of the main characters are not related to Season 8? Like, why would there be an asterisk in that case?
Well, so working off the assumption that the rest of the mains are main 6,
Main 6.
then it's like a bit of an open question whether you'd call those Season 8, Season 9 related. I mean, yes, of course they are, but in a manner of speaking, kind of not as well.
Yeah, that's fair. I see what you mean.
And then Bugle asked whether we would see a main character with a printed power other than 3, like Luna back in Carolot Knights. And the answer to that was no. So sticking to normal foundational design on that front.
We don't know anything about the start side, though.
Yeah. That being said, Grandpa's had to rephrase the question before he answered. So that implies that one of these mains can have more than 3 power, or less, or something. So we'll have to see how that works out.
You mean he added, like, the printed part?
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact, like, the question was answered, and then Grandpa's had to, like, clarify to make sure he knew exactly what he was saying. So it's possible that something very, very close to what was asked is actually the case, but we don't know exactly what.
Like Ocellus or Thorax or Mod.
Right.
Something like that.
Or a steak.
Hopefully not like AJ.
Come on, let's have Diligent free on the main. Just remove the distribute counters part.
Something tells me that's not going to fix it. Okay, so little throwaway about there being colorless friends. Answer yes. That's somewhat expected. We kind of covered already that there is, something for everyone here. There's, there are certain things in the set, but sets not in theory going to favor any archetypes over any others. That's something that, it's all well and good to say, but we'll see how the meta shakes out, 3 or 4 months from the release.
Mono yellow.
That's a safe bet now. It's true. Will there be a generic color fixer like Barrel or Speech? Answer yes. That's, again, given that this is a foundational set, that's not surprising.
Well, that wasn't the question. It was, would it support tricolor like Barrel?
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Because with Barrel rotating out, we don't really have any
repeatable way to get colors.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I guess there's Klooshtown Citizens and Main 6, but...
Sure, I guess. Those are expensive and hard to use, though.
Yeah.
Alright, just gonna move up a little quick here, given that Bugle's got to depart from us in a few minutes here, so we'll try to get through the whole list with him. There was the inevitable question about NA Continentals. The answer being essentially what we know already is that yes, it's happening, and more information soon.
And before Set 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, I think.
Yes.
It'll be very weird to release Set 11 before Continentals.
Oh, that's a prime principle in any organized strategic environment. Don't especially don't rotate core a couple of weeks before Continentals.
Guys, we have Continentals, but we're rotating core.
Let me tell you about the first Continentals. When Final and Mod became legal 2 weeks beforehand. Yeah. We've learned since then.
Okay. will there be more support for Poppy, as in more random effects? Answer yes. So makes sense. Will there be dilemmas? Answer yes. That was relatively to be expected, but not in every color. Also, not particularly surprising.
Betting there's one in blue and yellow.
Seems fair.
Can blue and yellow stop getting good dilemmas?
No.
Well, I hope at least yellow can stop getting good dilemmas finally.
I mean, yellow got Con Pony, which isn't that great, and blue got whatever they got in Sequestria, which isn't that great.
Candlelight Infiltration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they both have dilemmas that aren't great. They just also have a lot of dilemmas that are good.
Yeah, but two of them are rotating out, so...
Yes.
Right. So it is probably correct to replenish. Like, I think 2 good dilemmas is a good spot for making sure the aggro still works. It's fine. So there was a question about whether mechanics would be returned, like old mechanics, old keywords would be coming back. Interesting note, there was a show of Control F inspired and something came up. So that's something to look out for.
Worries me because inspired is a keyword that
Ridiculous.
even the controller always forgets that they have. And then they do 3 things in the main phase and go, oh wait, I didn't do inspired. Guess I forgot.
Yeah, that happens all the time. But, like, we'll see if there will be any actual cards that are played with inspired.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Maybe after all this time remembering Meticulous, people will be like a little bit better at that kind of thing.
Well, the thing is it's you remember all those triggers because they're before your draw phase. Like you go to draw a card and you go, oh wait, let's stop.
Yeah, this is when you do stuff, but inspired is during your opponent's turn.
Main phase.
Right.
So it's more awkward. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, will there be a colorless card like Staff of Sakanas that is a reasonable consideration for all sorts of decks? Answer yes, which
Another
is a little
stick.
surprising for me.
We need 2 sticks so we can have 2 at the same time with the uniqueness.
And yeah, just as the addendum to that, this card is a super rare, not an ultra rare. So to some extent, if it is at least, if it is anywhere near as desirable as Staff was, it'll at least be a little bit easier to get your hands on.
Yeah, which is a really good thing, I think.
Yeah, there was I believe it was Max who pulled a stick out of his prize packs for Harmony, I think, and like sold it on the spot. So.
Yeah.
Still a super in-demand card. And for obvious reasons, we might want to avoid that.
Okay. Will there be rare problems? No. We actually haven't had those for a while.
We haven't had rare problems since...
Marks, I think?
Marks, yeah.
So isn't it surprising to see, especially with the consideration that we know that the set is kind of like Friends Forever.
Right.
So I would expect like the distribution of commons and uncommons and like card types would be pretty much the same.
We're probably going to see 6, one problem for each color, maybe 2 because more than half the problems are rotating out. And maybe not more than half, but about half.
All of the problems are
2 colorless starting problems. Maybe 2 non-starting problems.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, hey, Bugle, you're right at the edge of your window here, right?
Yeah, just about.
Right. Before you go, you have a platform here. You did have an announcement to make at the convention, right?
Oh, sure. Sure, I can say that here. Yeah. I am going to do my best to bring Cafe back in September, and I fully expect that to happen.
Finally.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
After you finish the article series about the colors.
Yep. That's next on the list. Right back to yeah.
What are you planning to focus the cafe on? New player stuff or something about new keywords or?
Well, as much as I would love to answer that question, I have to go like right now.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
you guys can handle the rest of the stream, and I am taking off.
Well, glad to have you. Enjoy the rest of your con.
Yep.
Yep. Thank
Later.
you for coming.
Okay.
Okay.
I think he's gone.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, the next question was one of his, unfortunately. But anyway, will there be a starting problem that at least tangentially benefits farm? So he's, the question was cards like, I don't know, what was the one, like Rock Slide or something, that was considered useful for farm.
Social obligations, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. And the answer was yes. So we'll see.
Maybe people will play farm after core rotates. Especially with the new villain around.
Absolutely. Well, a good number. Well, actually, hang on a second. What kind of epics are rotating out? Like
all of the good ones, like Trixie, Starlight, all of the Starlights.
Yeah.
We still have Pony of
Starlight.
Shadows, not King Sombra, Storm King, and Chrysalis, so there's still things to farm.
Yep. Yeah, and then with our theoretical Grogar coming in, with a little bit of help, farm could happen. And for what it's worth, farm has always proven to be one of the most resilient archetypes in the game so far. Basically, only banning cards has stopped it from happening in the past.
Wow, we got a spoiler in the chat.
Uh-oh. I haven't been looking at the chat.
Well, you're lost. You don't get to see the card.
Oh, I have it. Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. Wait. Oh.
I will put it on the stream at the end. I guess.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay. We'll deal with that later. For what it's worth, what I'm seeing is very interesting, but sure. Okay, that was our tangential farm problem. Okay, I believe this one was also buccal. Will there be a starting problem like trading traditions that provides some form of entry solution? So, again, like trading traditions, something that gives you a little bit of color at the start. Not necessarily like trading traditions, maybe infiltrating the hive was another possibility. The answer was yes, but not like any problem that's done it so far. So, something new.
So, yeah. I mean, it'll be fun to see in other trading traditions. Especially after people said that that's the card they are excited to leave the most.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the thing is with infiltrating the hive and trading traditions, as they kinda give you the color directly.
Yeah.
Not in a way you expected. It probably doesn't give you the color directly, but who knows?
Right. It'll be like maybe something like your main character has to be there to get an extra color, say for example, or I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Like I can imagine something similar working as long as there's a like infiltrating was great because there was a relatively steep cost associated with it, and so decks that really, really needed it and could benefit from the changeling token and maybe wanted to discard the cards were, great. But like a problem with trading traditions was that it was relatively easy to just put it in, and the cost of it being a 5 for you and a 4 for the opponent wasn't equivalent to the amazing benefit it gave you.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple more flavor questions. Question asked: will there be cards featuring our main 6 pets?
Was it
another-
specifically main 6 or just any pets?
I believe that was the implication.
Silverstream
yeah.
has a cockatrice now, so
That's actually true. That could happen. But yeah, Control F Winona came up with results, so that at least we know.
okay. This one is interesting.
Indeed. Colorless resource removal. Think Seabreeze's flower. Answer yes.
Yeah.
So white or pink.
Pink,
blue.
white, blue. Blue has trash rotating out, so
Yeah. Some salvation. Presumably it'll be a little bit harder to do than Seabreeze's flower was, so potentially not so ubiquitous.
yeah. But it's interesting because that was one of the primary consideration for a lot of core decks right now. Is that okay, if you're playing pink white, be prepared that you can't remove resources. You had to run Pitted Sneeze or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just for that. And having colorless resource removal is a big deal, in the meta. Because now every color has access to resource removal.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll see if maybe that could be a good thing given staff's not going anywhere. Desert Road's still great. We'll see what kind of resources we get in this set. Yeah. Okay. Question asked about the viability of a hats type deck. Presumably white. It wasn't specified, but in general, hats are a white thing.
Yeah.
Answer yes, or at least in the opinion of those present. Obviously, no one can predict the meta, but there's at least some support for it, apparently. So I appreciate that.
Did you want the hat, Zach?
I wanted some sort of thing from presumably a white main, presumably white primary. That'd be nice. And hats is one way to do it. It's something that's been done in the past. I can't remember it ever being super good. So
I think that's mainly nice. Because if someone removes your friend or pretty much if anything happens to your friend, you lose all the hats, which is sad.
Yeah. Maybe there's a way around that.
Maybe.
No.
Oh, we're getting Berry Punch back. Yay! Said no one ever.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Exact question was, would there be effects like Berry Punch and Orange Swirl or Sugar Bell to take control of opposing friends? Answer yes. Not entirely unexpected. Obviously, yeah. Not Berry Punch and Orange Swirl again.
Yeah, probably something not as cost effective. Taking things under control is fine, but not for 1 AT and with a 1 power friend.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sugar Bell is a fine card, I think.
Indeed. Yeah. Yeah. Sugar Bell is just take control and that's it, right?
Until she's frightened on relief splay herself.
Right.
But there's
something like that.
Some permanent control gains too.
Yeah, something like that would be great to have in. Even Sonata.
Yeah.
Is perfectly all right. The cost of banishing the friend and the fact that it's localized is just fine.
So what's interesting about this question is it's not clear if that means permanent control and temporary control. Because Sugar Bell is permanent control, well, pretty much, and BPOS is temporary one. And the answer is yes, so maybe both? It is an or, though. It might be an inclusive or.
Yeah, I for what it's worth, this is reconstructed from my shorthand. So you shouldn't take what you see
Oh,
as
okay.
the exact words of the question.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And then the last question was very interesting one on my part. A question of whether the mains would have simple flip conditions, as in front to flip. We've had for the last set and for a while now, it seems, or something complicated like we had in Carolot Knights and Premiere, and like High Magic, I guess, was complicated, right?
Well, Trixie was complicated. Luna is somewhat like... It's not confront to flip. I would consider anything but confront to flip is complicated at this point.
Yeah. Essentially interesting things, not just confront to flip.
And this is something we really wanted from Friends Forever too, but Friends Forever did not deliver.
Yeah. And so, yes, the answer is that we will have complex flip conditions, which...
Finally.
To put that in perspective, if core rotated and this set was simple, then we would only have confront to flip mains and the Sequestria mains. So probably a good thing.
Yeah.
We have something a little bit interesting here. And of course, like in a world where there's only confront to flips, Tempest actually gets really, really good.
And Silverstream.
Yeah. So again, good thing that we
it's nice to have options.
Else.
The only hope is that the mains will be also generic enough. They don't have to be, like some colors have already generic mains, like purple. Like a Tempest can just play any purple deck with Tempest.
Pretty much, yeah.
But white and orange has that problem.
Right. Yeah, that's well, we've been saying it for a while, but that's like the big thing to look for. Is what is our white and orange main going to look like? Is it going to be good enough and generic enough that it's just... Yeah, because essentially it is going to be the foundational main of the color.
Yeah.
For a while. And then similarly, we want to see... I personally want to see a purple main that is not, it is an aggro choice. A yellow main that, maybe is a bit on the slower side. It'd be nice. There's lots of directions to look for.
I mean, Noah is a kind of on the slow side, but it doesn't necessarily like control-ish. It's still somewhat aggro-ish with her ability.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be nice to see like mains that support different ways to play the same color.
Yeah, absolutely. So that does bring us to the end of our questions. Shall we move to the sort of the first spoiler, I guess, the one that came out during the con, not the one we were just given now?
Sure. Do you want to switch to it now?
Sure, let's go.
Wait, hold on, I actually messed it up now. Give me a moment.
Or this new one, whatever you currently got set up.
Okay, we have the Luna now.
Okay. So, let me actually just find... There it is.
It's a critter. I didn't know Luna was a critter.
Bit of a mix. Yeah. But yeah, this one was physical. Yeah, we got to see this physically at the convention. There was a paper copy that was shopped around. And here we have it. Princess Luna Foul Play, 3 power yellow, 3 cost, 3 requirement. The talented italics is the key phrase that we alluded to earlier. That's going to be a group that is going to show up throughout the set, and it's basically going to work out to like talented corresponds to when you play an event whose requirement includes at least one of this card's colors. All talented cards are going to do something along those lines. In this one, in the case of this one, you get a token. You get a critter token.
Yep.
And so The first thing that I thought of when I saw this card was Prismatic, actually, from way back in Crystal Games. It feels similar to that in its support for friends with lots of colors on them.
Yeah, we haven't seen cards that care about colors for a while. Like, if you ask me, like, oh, can you name a recent card that cares about colors? I can't name a card like that.
Yeah, I mean, aside from cards that exist to give you colors, like...
Yeah, those don't count. Like, this one specifically cares about what color it is. Because if you, like, paint it purple with a makeover or something and then play a purple event, you get a critter.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a very, like, strange situation, but still, it cares about its own color.
Absolutely, yeah. And so obviously there's a benefit from either running this card in a deck with lots of yellow events, and by yellow we mean yellow requirement. And I suppose it's worth mentioning that if it's like a multicolor event where yellow is one of the requirements, that'll work just fine. Or
is this an Alu joke with the requirements?
I don't think so. Anyway,
okay,
yeah. Or you benefit from giving a card like this, not necessarily this one, but a talented card, lots of colors, so that then you can, I don't know, you're playing a multicolor deck with some events in it, and you get broad value across your whole spectrum.
Yeah, and what's interesting, multicolor events work just as fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think what I would really like. So there's a lot of like things you can do with talented, but maybe not this particular card because getting one critter isn't too exciting.
It's not super major, yeah. Yeah. The interesting thing that, like, or at least one of the other interesting things that jumps out to me is that given that talented is specifically events, it implies that the set is going to have like a fair amount of event focus to it because you want to, have seeds for this kind of thing.
And maybe that's why the answer to the question we had on the list is whether the colors will have like the evenly distributed events among them is yes. Maybe talented is the reason why. Because I suspect all of the colors will have talented.
That would make sense, yeah. I guess my question, I can't believe this only occurred to me just now, but Celestia and Luna usually come in pairs. There's got to be a matcher, right? A talented Celestia out there somewhere.
What would you color a Celestia?
That's the question. Luna's in yellow. What is Celestia? I don't know. I mean, if they're going to switch places, she's purple, I guess.
Or blue.
Or blue. Blue works
too.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know if I have much else to say at this moment.
Sounds like a flavor suggestion. Yeah, it might be a flavor suggestion. I mean, ask Cursed and he will give you tons of Celestia flavor suggestions. Ask me and I can tell you everything about Trixie.
They've already made their opinions about the Trixie flavor suggestions. Well, I guess not to you specifically, but yeah, yesterday there was much discussion about that.
Yeah, I wasn't even there.
You were there. Well, I did my best to be there for you by proxy.
Thank you.
Okay. Shall we get to the hot takes on this new thing?
Okay, let me switch it. Okay, what an interesting art.
Yeah.
It sure is final.
Yeah. Given, I guess this is your proof positive, flavoring is ongoing.
Yeah. It is
overdue
art.
Yeah. we have a name. We have a set number down there, actually, or a card number and a rarity down there. I'm not sure how. I presume everything artistic is, still. What's the word?
Yeah, I don't think the set symbol is question mark and exclamation mark.
Yeah.
Something tells me that it's not the actual set symbol.
But the mechanical considerations are probably fair, which is 1 cost, 2 rec, 7/7 on both sides, 1 bonus point. Now the text is the really cool part. Meticulous 1, yada yada, whatever. But the players can't confront this problem bit. That is very interesting, since it means that this is essentially going to function as a resource that like
a report resource that you play in the problem.
Yeah, except that cards which normally interact with resources can't interact with this because it's a problem. Yeah.
So, is the confront requirements are ever relevant here?
I
mean, there is a card that disables problems abilities, but...
Yeah.
Spring Snap, I think she's called.
Yeah, in Harmony. It's a bit of a step down for her from allowing Fire when Ready to be confronted to allowing this to be confronted. But yeah, that is a thing.
So, when I see this card, there's one thing comes to my mind. This card is actually a Poppy nerf.
That's a good point.
You could play a lot of them, and then all the Patimares don't have 50-50 anymore. And it's actually like, if Patimare moves to this problem, it's bad because she's useless there. Being there is pretty much as being at home.
Yep. Yeah. Given the 1 bonus point, this isn't useful as a way to kind of sweeten double confronts by upping the bonus. It'd be interesting if like blue or yellow gets a dilemma that is essentially that. Just a dilemma that you played just to increase the bonus of your DFO.
Buck Ball is kind of that. It's not that directly, but
yeah,
it is kind of that.
And I guess that's a fair question, whether this is like a template for a template for some of the dilemmas we're going to get, or if this is just a purple thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting if like a blue dilemma that you can't confront and has a higher bonus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, given that this is a dilemma, this like necessarily goes in control because you're really incentivized to not start a double face-off and get rid of your dilemma.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of those, like, the problem with, like, Purple having dilemmas is that Purple doesn't want to play dilemmas, it wants to sit behind troublemakers. Or some other control tools, not necessarily troublemakers. And dilemmas only help your opponent, and don't really help you, because you are not the one starting face-offs. But this problem doesn't have this problem, because it's not confrontable. It's just pretty much there. And it also serves like a second home for the opponent because it's useless. You can move stuff there. For instance, if the opponent has something that's like... what's the card's name? In Defenders, like the Fluttershy parents that give everyone at home Swift. Yeah, you can move just stuff to this problem, and friends won't have Swift there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's actually an interesting problem to park a Mimics on too, because it's there. Your opponent has to presumably put stuff there to challenge the Mimics, and then after, even if they defeat it, now your opponent's stuff is at this problem, and they're gonna have to move it elsewhere to actually confront stuff.
So I thought about that, but then again, you have to defend other problems too. Otherwise, the opponent will just do a double face-off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, if you're playing like Stormcaller or something, I guess.
Unless you want to have triple Mimics out.
Yeah. That works.
So yeah, cool stuff.
Mhm.
Grandpa's wants to clarify that, unless I think it was clear before, but just in case, this is not the final way this card looks. The art will be added, and you can see like the watermark on it that it is a playtesting proxy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Presumably, we will get some pretty pictures of. Well, hang on a second. Have you seen the episode this is from? I know this
Yes,
episode,
yes,
right?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So some screen art from that,
Mm-hmm.
and nicer formatting, etc., etc.
Yeah. So yeah, just to be clear again, this is a playtesting proxy. This is not how the card will look in the end. It will be looking quite normal, just like
But
the Princess Luna we saw before.
Precisely. But the mechanics are probably
Won't change. Yeah.
set. Yeah. Okay, so just to finish us off, the final sort of thing that the Q&A consisted of was a little, I don't know if you'd necessarily call it a round table or whatever, where each of the people who were there, who participated in deck testing, submitted or said one little phrase or sentence that would be sort of their tagline for the set. And there are some details that we can dig out of them. And obviously, I believe you were involved in testing, right, Hithrock?
Yeah.
So you can add your own on the end
It's tricksy.
as you like. That's fair. So yeah, you can get started.
Well, my tagline is Trixie, even though it was said that there will be no Trixie. It's still Trixie. Even if I didn't participate in the playtesting, it will still be Trixie. It's always Trixie.
That's fair. Very insightful.
Yes. Pages got a tagline Septuple Confront, which is a reference to what actually happened on playtesting. It was terrible. He was already ready to finish off the game, and then he plays a dilemma against me, then another one, then another one, then another one, and then he confronts all of them.
Interesting. Like I know we saw. Let me see. Was it a quintuple confront that we actually saw on stream?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the sort of current state of the art of Core, or I don't know. Was that Harmony? I think that was Core. So we know that kind of thing is at least somewhat possible. Presumably, we're getting more dilemmas and more stuff in that front coming up. Should make for some a situation like that would make for a very cramped board. That many problems in play. It's going to be interesting on stream and on tournament tables, etc.
Yep.
The next tagline from Grandpa's was non-chaos deck manipulation, which is very interesting. Presumably, this is indicating towards top deck stuff.
Something that cares about top deck, but is not chaos control, as it always was.
Yeah, it's a reason to care about what's on top of your deck, aside from just chaos effects and things that'll flip and etc. So that is very intriguing, but I don't know if I can hazard a guess as to precisely what that means.
I guess we'll see in the future.
Yeah.
Ivory has a very insightful tagline as well, which is Blue Fast.
Blue Fast. Very reassuring to all the aggro players out there, I assume. That's not really a change to the sort of way that blue works. But good to know that blue is going to keep on being blue.
Yeah, blue gotta go fast.
From Aracat, we have two simple words, flip average, which, again, normally these days, when I hear those words, as pursuing to pertaining to a deck, I think like 4+ essentially. It'd be interesting if if he means higher than that, or if he means presumably that means that there exists at least one deck with a pretty crazy flip average. Which, if farm is actually getting some help, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And from Sonnet we got Purple Yellow Copy as a tagline.
To which the
Clone
natural
me.
question, yes, that was the natural question asked, was, are we reprinting Cloney? The answer to that is no, but still a very interesting piece of text to get in there. Yeah.
Let's have Cloney reprinted. That sounds like a great idea.
That card did absolutely nothing wrong.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, so what are your impressions so far?
So far I'm pretty excited. Like we're plumbing into new territory. I'm really interested to see what this whole point thing is, because that is, well, it's a completely new area to push into. It's like gonna matter a lot, as you know. It's something that potentially will affect the pace of games, which is, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily say that's something we need or something I thought we wanted, but it's always good to try it out. Because that obviously affects control, it affects aggro, it affects everything. And then, yeah, I'm pretty excited so far.
Yeah. Yeah, the point thing is interesting because I don't think we've had any cards that cared about Vonits before. It was always just the AC gain per turn.
Yeah, there was, we've obviously had cards that give you points.
Yeah, but it's the same as it's the same as Talented. Like Talented cares about colors. We had cards that give you colors, but not the cards that care about colors. And I think it's the same as the point. We have cards that give you points, but not cards that care about how many points you have.
Precisely, yeah. And so the possibility of I have a sensation and a guess that Talented is going to interact with this somewhat viable Hats deck, possibly. That sounds like something to me. Before, Hats to give cards more colors has been a thing, and so
Alicorn
maybe
wins.
that's Alicorn costume, indeed.
Oh, costume, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. That'd be nice. But yeah, I don't know, but I want to know.
Well, we've got 2 spoilers. That's one more than expected, so maybe we'll see more in the future.
Sure hope so. Otherwise, that's all I have to say.
Yep.
Okay. So, obviously, thanks everybody for coming out. I know that at least some of the people in our audience are at BronyCon here with us, or with me at least, and so we obviously appreciate you taking time out of the con to join us. For everyone else out there, thanks very much too. If you want to catch up on our past streams or want to watch this one again or know someone who couldn't make it, feel free to check our videos out on YouTube. Our streams usually go up after a couple of hours, or, well, yeah, probably. Besides that, I've been Cursor Chords.
And I've been Hifrock. And there used to be a special guest with us.
Yeah, we had Bugle. Obviously, he is out enjoying the con. Something that I shall be getting to right away as soon as we're done here as well. So,
yep, have fun.
Thanks, and we'll see you in a fortnight.
Bye.